Okay, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a cardboard katana, samurai sword. And you don't need a whole lot of materials, but it does take time to make this. It'll take you about 3 days. Actually take you 3 days to make this katana. And you'll see what I mean as I explain it. But now to make one out of cardboard, you really have to, this one's really, really strong, and this thing is going to last. You know, so, but to do it something like that out of cardboard is a bit of a challenge. So what I did was I kind of modeled it after a real samurai sword, in that a real katana uses 2 different types of steel, and those 2 different types of steel, one is very flexible, one is very rigid, and that's what gives it its strength yet flexibility. So I kind of did that with our cardboard katana, and you'll see what I mean. What you're going to need here is, let me go over some materials. You're going to need 2 big boxes, the biggest boxes you can get. But there's a caveat there, and I'll explain that to you. You're going to need something to cut a thick layer of cardboard with. Safety glasses always, when you're working with any kind of a tool and when you're using the katana. A marker, scissors, a utility knife, some aluminum foil, some colored tape if you can, that's optional, a measuring tape, some wood glue, and some clear plastic packing tape like you wrap up packages with. Here's the clear packing tape. So let me explain to you the theory about how this works and how we get such strength out of such a small thing. This katana is 2 inches wide, and you could probably make it a little bit smaller, maybe 1.5 inches, and it would look even better. You know, it would be almost legitimate size. And this is about 30 inches long, because that's about what I could get out of the cardboard. You can make it as long as you can. 30 inches is a pretty nice size. Explain to you something about the cardboard, the 2 different types of cardboard. You have to use corrugated cardboard boxes. And I've peeled away some of this cardboard here to show the corrugations. These are inside 2 sheets of paper, which makes up cardboard, and they go in a certain direction. So what we do is, what I'm going to do here in this is I'm actually going to have 5 long pieces of cardboard, long enough to cut out a sword from, and 3 of them, the corrugations are going to go lengthwise, and 2 of them, the corrugations are going to go sideways like this. So 3 of them are this way, 2 of them are this way, and that's what gives us our strength. See, this gives us our strength in this direction, and this will give us our strength in this direction. So that's very important. So that's the key to making this katana really nice and strong, is the 2 different orientations of the cardboard. And that may be difficult to find, but I found myself some boxes that had the corrugations the right way and they were long enough. This one goes that way and this one goes this way. So it worked out really well for me. So that may be a challenge for you to get those corrugations. And if you can, try to get whole piece out of it that without any bends or anything like that, because the bends will definitely be a weak point in it. If you have to, then you have to. But so get the biggest boxes you can, 2 different types, 2 different orientations on the corrugation. So cut out 5 pieces that are 30 inches long by 4 inches long. 3 of the pieces, the corrugation goes lengthwise. 2 of the pieces, the corrugation goes this way. Okay, here you go. Here's the basic setup of the 5 pieces of cardboard. They're 4 inches by 30 inches. Get them as long as you can, but 30 inches is nice. And I have drawings out here to show you the way the grain goes. You have 3 of them where the grain goes this way, the corrugations. 2 of them where the corrugations go that way. So what you do is apply a liberal amount of carpenter's wood glue to 2 of them, and then spread it out with a brush so it's nice and thick and even on the whole thing. Don't miss any spots. Then you put them together. So you've got the long one, short ways, then do it again. Apply a lot of glue, liberal amount of glue, brush it on so it's nice and even, and glue them together. This one's a long ways, so you get 2 more. Do the glue, brush it on, make it all nice and even, put that together, and then the final one, you do the same thing. Glue them both, on both sides, and put them together. So you've got a lengthwise, widthwise, lengthwise right in the middle, widthwise, and then the top one's lengthwise. Now, to get that right, you need to weight that down really good. And what I did is I put a whole mess of books on it, like this tall. So put books on the whole thing, get it nice and heavy, and then put some weights on top of that if you can. And get that so that glue holds that and it becomes a very strong structure. So let that sit overnight. Okay, we have our 5 sheets of cardboard here that have all been glued together, and we've let that sit overnight, and that's very important. So this thing now is very strong. This is going to be great. That's our 5 sheets, and of course 3 sheets the corrugations go one way and 2 sheets the corrugations go the other way. Now here's our rough sketch here of what we're going to make, and there's a sample katana there that we're going to use. So what you have to do now is draw on the cardboard the shape that you want to cut out, and I've already done that. So that's what we got. What it is, it's 2 inches wide, which is a little bit wider than the normal katana, of course. Cardboard, because of the cardboard. And you draw a whole box that's 3 inches wide, and then offset the katana blade, the whole thing, by 1 inch. So you got 1 inch here and then 2 inches. So then you draw a curve like that, from end to end, top to top. So simple as that. You can tweak it a little bit as you see fit, and next thing we have to do is cut it. Now there's a few different ways you can cut it. You can use a coping saw, you can use a band saw, you can use some kind of a jigsaw, you can even cut it with a utility knife. Any of the ways you cut it, take your time, go real slow, don't try not to ruin it, because that's a critical point there when you're cutting it. If you can, use a band saw, that'll be the best way to cut it. So just be careful and follow all safety precautions, or get adult supervision to help you cut that katana out. Okay, I've cut out the katana. I used a jigsaw and it only took me a few minutes. But take your time, cut it out nice and neat. I managed to get a little bit of extra on the handle there, which is nice. I got as much out of those pieces of cardboard that I could. Now, this is still going to take us one more day, or at least 7 more hours, because now what you're going to do is, you're going to see these corrugations here. You're going to apply a good layer of glue on both sides of this. Good layer of wood carpenter's glue on that. Let it soak in really good. Brush it in, do a couple of layers, and then let it sit overnight, and that'll be the final hardening stage. The katana will be hardened. From there we'll have to we'll decorate it and make it look like a real katana. So I'll get right back to you. Okay, this is the 3rd day. We've allowed the glue on the sides to dry, and that came out great. And this thing is super strong, really strong. This is going to be nice, and that's coming out to be a good katana. But now we're going to move on to the stage of finishing it up. So on day 3 we finally get to finish it. Remember, you had to let that glue on the sides dry overnight. So to finish it up, we're going to need some aluminum foil, some clear packing tape, and some colored tapes. I mean, it's all optional. You could just go with it like that, or you could paint it if you want. But I'm going to try to make it look as nice as I can. And you can even paint the blade white or silver, paint the handle black, put some designs on it, have some fun with it. But I'm gonna go with as fancy as I can get to try to make it look as nice as possible. But if you do use aluminum foil, you have to have the packing tape to go over it, or else the aluminum foil just gets wrecked. So I'm going to do that, and I'll show you when it's almost done. Okay, this katana is done, and it came out pretty good. As you can see, I covered the top with aluminum foil, and then I used clear wrapping tape to go over that so it stays strong. The aluminum foil alone would be too delicate and it would rip. But with wrapping tape, it's all set. And then I used red, black, and blue electrical tape to make the designs on the handle. Now, the thing about this katana is that the darn thing is strong. I mean, this thing really, both sideways and forwards, this thing's going to take a lot of abuse, so it's pretty strong. So our compound structure came out really good. Cardboard. It's 2 inches wide. I might be able to make it a little bit smaller. I might be able to shave it down to 1.5 inches, but I'm going to keep it like this. If you feel adventurous and you think you want to go for a thinner one, you can go down to about 1.5 inches probably, and it might still be okay. I'm not sure. So that's the end of this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks. Plenty more stuff on my website, www.stormthecastle.com.